Yeah, having seen the region of convergence for finite and infinite sequences, now let's see the properties of region of convergence. So this will be the summary of what we have seen so far. Okay, so we have derived the, or we have obtained the Z transform of finite sequences, and we have seen what would be the ROC of right-sided sequence, left-sided sequence, or double-sided sequence. On similar grounds, we also have seen the what the region of convergence for the positive time exponential, negative time exponential, double-sided exponentials. All that would be summarized here with some more additional points. Fine. Now, see here, we'll all discuss this. We'll take one by one and we'll try and understand these properties. Fine. So they can be the properties that we have seen so far, or the region of convergences that we have discussed for several signals so far can be summarized as this. So what is the property one? See, property one tells us the region of convergence cannot contain any pole. Okay. So we'll come to this. You will understand this. Okay. You will understand this when we draw this region of convergences. Understand that? So let's draw that region of convergence and let's understand how do they say the ROC does not contain any poles. So that we shall see. Okay, we'll come back to this. See the second property. If x of n is finite causal sequence, then ROC is entire Z plane except Z equal to 0. That also we have seen. So if it's a finite causal sequence means what? What is the meaning of causal sequence? Anybody? It's right-sided or left-sided?
Right-sided.
Yeah, causal sequence is right-sided sequence. And for such right-sided sequence, what they are telling us is this. Okay, so that is the region of convergence is actually entire Z plane. Okay, so it's entire Z plane except Z equal to 0. Fine. So that is written here. It's entire Z plane, okay, except Z equal to 0 for causal sequence. Similarly, for non-causal, this non-causal means left-sided sequence. Understand that? For left-sided sequence, it is entire Z plane again, except Z equal to infinity. Fine. Causal means it is right-sided. Non-causal means it is left-sided, including 0, mind you. Okay. So we always include 0 when we do that. So let's understand this is right-sided sequence. Okay. And this is left-sided sequence, including the 0th sample, mind. Okay. And we have seen in all the detail how this is entire Z plane except Z equal to 0 and Z equal to infinity. Okay. So if it is double-sided, it's quite obvious that it would be whole of the Z plane except Z equal to 0 and Z equal to infinity. Is that fine? Now, the infinite length sequences come here. See here, we have to discuss it for causal infinite length sequences. So for causal infinite length sequences, what it is? That means right-sided. A causal infinite means should understand it is, what do they mean by that is, they mean this. So we have taken an example for causal infinite length sequences. The example that we had taken was positive time exponential. So how does it look like? Positive time exponential, it looks like, it's not minus, mind you. The positive time exponential looks like what? It's a power n u of n. So for such type of signal, it is outside the circle with radius a. See, let's take this as radius a, everybody. Let me just take that with a different color. Okay. So let's say this is a circle with radius a. Understand? So for, see the fifth property, now causal infinite length sequence, it says. So one example that we have seen for causal infinite length sequence is positive time exponential, that is represented like this. So for this, we have seen the region of convergence is outside the circle with radius a. So radius a here is the maximum. If you have two such values, Okay, so then you have to consider the maximum. Understand that? Suppose A and B you have. So where you will find A and B together? A and B together you will find in double-sided. Yeah, two-sided sequence infinite. So there will find A also, B also. Fine. So A is less than B or B is greater than A. So that is how we have considered the two-sided sequence. But it is if it is positive time exponential, it should be greater than R max. Say. So the R max, the radius they say. Radius is A. So this is the radius, the maximum radius they mean. Okay. The region of convergence should be outside the maximum radius. That means where should this be? Here, the region of convergence is outside the maximum, outside the circle with maximum radius. So this is your ROC. Now see, here we have marked the what? Pole. So that means this pole is not inside the ROC. That is what is the meaning of this. Everybody understand that? So the first property is telling us that ROC does not contain any poles. What is the meaning of that? Its meaning is, here, this is what they mean. ROC is, it can be on the boundary of region of convergence, but it cannot be within. It cannot be within means somewhere here. No, it cannot be somewhere here where I'm just showing you the yellow color. It cannot be there within. It cannot, it can be on the boundary of the ROC, but it cannot be within ROC. That's why they say ROC does not contain any pole. Similarly, see here, if you take a non-causal infinite sequence, the non-causal infinite sequence that we took is this. What is that? Negative time exponential we took for this. Negative time exponential we took. Right? So what was it looking like? It was looking like minus b to the power n u of minus n minus 1. Right? So for such a signal, it is inside the circle, okay, with minimum radius. There could be two values, b and a. So whichever is minimum, you have to go with that. Okay, it should be inside the circle with the minimum radius. So that means this, if this is b, okay, let me take this. Yeah, if this is b, what they're saying is, yeah, this is where your ROC is supposed to be. And in this case also, the pole, see here, the pole that we have marked here is outside, it's on the boundary of the region of convergence, but it is not within the region of convergence. Understand that? So that's why this very clearly says it cannot contain any ROC. So ROC is not containing any pole, but it is, but this pole is outside, is on the boundary of, it can be on the boundary of the region of convergence, but it cannot be within. Okay, but yes, the zeros can be here, the zero is here and the zero is here within the region. The zeros can be within the region of convergence. Okay, in this case, if you come, okay, the zero is actually there within the region of convergence. See, here is where your zero comes. So zeros can be there within the region of convergence, but the poles are not supposed to be, is what is the meaning of this property. Okay, the very first properties. So here you should understand it's inside the circle with minimum radius. Understand? So now here, if you take this, okay, so let me draw that here. Fine. So double-sided, they are telling us. So let's take the double-sided thing here. Suppose, let me not take this. Let me not take this. Let me take this. Okay, and then go for drawing this. Okay, let's say it's this. Then Let's have a circle. Let's have two circles rather. Let's see. Let's have two circles. Fine. Went off. Just a minute. Let's take two circles, one smaller one bigger one, so you'll understand what I mean. So this is one circle, and you have another circle. So this is for double-sided sequence. This happens. Fine. So for double-sided sequence, this is our what? A or B. It should be greater than R1 and less than, should be outside the circle, we say, right? Should be outside the circle means it's radius A. It should be within the circle with radius B. So that means this is your ROC. Even if you take this, see the poles are on the boundary of region of convergence. Understand? So that is your seventh property. Get that point? So everybody see here, your one pole is here, the other pole is here. Understand that? And in between, you have region of convergence here. You have region of convergence in the shaded area. Understand that? And shaded area is not consisting of any poles. Is that okay with everybody? So this is what is the meaning of the statement. Now, ROC of an LTI system is stable, LTI stable system. So this is very important, another property. See, ROC of an LTI stable system contains the unit circle. So that means, what do they mean by that? Just see here. It's quite interesting what they say. Just by seeing the region of convergence, we can say whether this system is what? If you take this, okay, and if this radius is equal to 1, let's say R equal to 1, this is called as unity circle or unit circle. Okay, and if it is unit circle, then the LTI system is stable, is what is the statement that it is being made here. Okay, here the unit circle is quite clearly given. So this is the unit circle. If your Z plane consists of the unit plane, then the system in consideration is actually LTI, say, stable system. And one more thing that they are saying is ROC must be connected region. What does that mean? ROC is connected means, what is the meaning of that? See here, suppose if you have this x-axis and y-axis, you cannot have ROCs like this. No, this is wrong. Fine. So ROC is always connected. You cannot have two separate ROCs like this. No. It has to be always connected region. Region of convergence is always connected. See here? This is connected everywhere. There is no separation. There is no separation. It's all connected regions. So this is what is the properties of ROC that we have to understand. I hope you have understood this. Fine. So with this, let's move on with some problems. Okay. Problems on Z transform. We are studying Z transforms only. Okay. But in that, till now, we were interested in looking at the region of convergence or the properties of region of convergence. Okay. And the here problems on Z transforms. So what we are going to do is Z transforms of some useful sequences. Useful means or basic sequences. Understand? So this we shall see now. That means we have in previous semester when we learned the Laplace transform, we saw what is the Laplace transform of basic signals. Which are the basic signals we consider? We consider unit step signal. We consider then we consider the impulse function. then sinusoidal functions, the ramp functions, all that we consider, right? So if we consider the same functions again here, so what would be the Z transform of such functions is what we are looking at. Fine. So the first signal that we are considering here, the sequence means it is signal only, okay, but it is in particular discrete signal. Fine. Discrete signals are also called as sequences. Fine. So the first sequence that we are seeing here is x of n equal to delta of n. What is delta of n? Delta of n is this. Delta of n is 1, okay, at n equal to 0. So this is your delta of n. Delta of t is infinite, but delta of n is 1. Understand? So it is this signal. For this signal, what should be your x of z? So therefore, x of z, what is it given by? Okay, you all have to remember this. Okay, it's n ranging from minus infinity to infinity, x of n, z to the power minus n. This is what is the equation for obtaining the z transform. Okay, so here the x of n is actually delta of n, right? So in place of x of n, let's have delta of n, and it is z to the power minus n. Okay, so by shifting property, okay, we have what, this n equal to minus infinity to infinity, okay, x of n delta of n is actually equal to x of n being evaluated at n equal to 0. That means it is x of 0. So what is x of n here? This actually is x of n now for us. Understand that? So that's why what would be our x of z? Therefore, our x of z would be equal to z to the power minus n being evaluated at n equal to 0. That means it is z to the power 0, which means it is 1. Everybody understand that point? So this is what is the result we have obtained for delta of n. So the z transform of delta of n is 1, is what we understand from this exercise. Fine. So let's take the second problem under maybe this is first set of problems. So in first set of problems we have delta of n, then maybe we have the shifted delta of n. So let's see this. Okay, so here x of n is given to be what? Delta of n minus n naught, okay, where n is a positive number or n naught is a positive number. Can you give me this? Can you solve this for me, everybody? Where is this existing? Why it is 0 x of 0? Why we are evaluating at n equal to 0, anybody? In this shifting property of delta of n. Okay, so we are evaluating this x of at n equal to 0 because delta of n exists at, because this delta of n exists at n equal to 0. That's why we evaluated this x of n at n equal to 0. Okay, so where is this delta of n minus n naught is existing is what we are supposed to be seeing. Okay, so therefore this is x of z. Okay, it would be n ranging from minus infinity to infinity. Fine. X of n z to the power minus n. Fine. So again you have n ranging from minus infinity to infinity. Let's substitute delta of n minus n naught here into what? Z to the power minus n. Fine. Since delta of n minus n naught is equal to 1 at n equal to n naught, this implies that our x of z is z to the power minus n, okay, with n equal to n naught, which means that it is z to the power minus n naught, which further means that it is 1 by z to the power n naught. So this is what is the z transform of the shifted version of what? the impulse function. If it is delta of n, it is 1. If it is delta of n minus n naught, it is 1 by z to the power n naught. Understand this point? So similarly, if you take the third type in this shifted version, okay, it is delta of n plus n naught. So it implies that x of z for this is going to be what? Z to the power n naught. It is just this. Okay, you can just do that and see. Okay, similarly, it is, if we do the same exercise, you'll get to see this. So this is one set of problems wherein we have seen what is the z transform of delta of n, z transform of delta of n minus n naught, z transform of delta of n plus n naught. Understand that? So let's just summarize that here. Fine. X of n we have, then x of z. So what are the three signals we have seen in the first in three different types? Okay, it is delta of n, then x of z is 1. Second one is delta of n minus n naught, then it is z to the power minus n naught or 1 by z to the power n naught. The third one we have seen is delta of n plus n naught, that is z to the power n naught. That means the shift needs to be represented like this. If it is minus n naught, it is z to the power minus n naught. If it is plus n naught, it is z to the power plus n naught. So this is how the z transform of the impulse function and the shifted impulse functions look like. Fine. So let's now move on with the second signal, that is what? Suppose if you see this we have seen, right? What is that? We have seen this. What is a power n u of n? What is this signal? Can you tell me? What is this signal? Anybody, can you make out what signal is this? What type of signal is a power n u of n? Can you make out that? It is positive time exponential, and positive time exponential we already have seen, right? So for positive time exponential, what is it going to be? So it is z by z minus a. We have to write the ROC, okay, with where ROC is the ROC is outside the circle with radius a. So this is what is the positive time exponential you have seen. So this we have already done, so let's not do it again. This is positive time exponential, the second signal that we have to see in this particular list. Fine. So this is already done. So let's see the third signal that we have to see. So it is minus b to the power n u of n. It's not u of n. What is this? It's u of minus n minus 1. Okay, so this is negative time exponential. So for negative time exponential, it is z by z minus b with region of convergence inside the circle with radius b. This also we have seen. Fine. Now see here, with these two results in hand, okay, so let's see what is the z transform of u of n. Can you tell me this? Referring to this signal, can you tell me what is the z transform of u of n? Anybody? Referring to this positive time exponential, you have to tell me what is the z transform of u of n. Can anybody do that? Just observe positive time exponential and tell me what is the z transform of u of n and its region of convergence. See here, we have a power n. What is that a here? So this can be written as 1 power n u of n, it's one and the same, right? So in place of a, if you have 1, it is unit step function. Get that point? So in that sense, okay, it is z by z minus 1 with region of convergence, okay, being outside the circle with radius 1. Fine. So that is what is the meaning of this. If you have u of n, it is as good as having 1 power n u of n, where 1 is this a. If it is a, it is z by z minus a. If it is 1, if it is z by z minus 1. And since here it's region of convergence outside this circle with radius a, here it would be outside the circle with radius 1. That's it. Okay, so it's quite simple. So this we can even do and see. It's not at all a problem. Since we have already done it for this, okay, if you're asked to derive the z transform of u of n, you can do it this way. You can do it this way. Okay, so it would not be a difficult exercise. Fine. So the fifth one is similar to what we have just done. Okay, here this is as good as what? Minus 1 to the power n u of minus n minus 1. So here this b, so this b is 1, so b is taken as 1. Okay, so the z transform will be z by z minus 1 with region of convergence, okay, being inside the radius, inside the circle with radius 1. That's it. Okay, so this is what is the things that we had to see. Fine. So now let's move on with a sinusoidal signal, which we have not seen so far. Okay, so let's go with the sixth signal. Let's derive this, because here we didn't derive this because it is quite straightforward result. Quite straightforward result. That's why we didn't do this. Fine. So let's do something that we have not done. So sixth one that we have to do is sinusoidal sequence. Sinusoidal sequence is what we need to look at. What is that sequence given as? Here, under that we have two. We can have sine also and we can have cos also. Okay, so it's x of n equal to sine omega naught n. See the omega that we have taken here. Okay, so you have to just see this into u of n. So this is what is the sinusoidal sequence that we have to consider. Fine. Now let's see what is the z transform of this. So z transform of this is going to be what here? Summation n ranging from minus infinity to plus infinity x of n z to the power minus n. Fine. This can further be written as n ranging from minus infinity to infinity. Okay, in place of x of n, let's bring sine omega naught n u of n z to the power minus n. But this u of n, see, this u of n says that this is a causal sequence. Okay, this u of n says that this sine omega naught n is a causal sequence. Therefore, x of z of a causal sequence, if we are writing, okay, then it has to be written as this. Summation n ranging from the minus infinity would become 0. So 0 to infinity sine omega naught n, okay, z to the power minus n, because this u of n is 1. Okay, from where to where? From n equal to 0 to infinity. Understand that? So from n equal to 0 to infinity, it is 1. So that's why, okay, that is represented as 1 here, substitute as 1 rather. Now let's express the sinusoidal signal in terms of the exponential. Can anybody tell me how to express this in terms of the complex exponentials? We know that sine omega naught n can be represented as e power j omega naught n minus e power minus j omega naught n divided by anybody? Do you remember what is the denominator for this? Anybody? It is 2j. Okay, so this is what is sine omega naught n, or sinusoidal signal in terms of complex exponential. Okay, so therefore this x of z can be written as this in place of sine omega naught n. Okay, substitute the exponential form. Fine, it would be e power j omega naught n minus e power minus j omega naught n divided by 2j. Okay, and this is multiplied by z to the power minus n. Fine. So this 2j is a constant. 1 by 2j is a constant. Just keep it outside this summation because n is not there in that. Okay, so it would be a constant. So let's keep that 1 by 2j out. Fine. And rearrange this as this summation. E power j omega naught n z to the power minus n minus summation n ranging from 0 to infinity e power minus j omega naught n z to the power minus n. This is how the things are. Fine. Now, can we express this as a function, this, where n is ranging from 0 to infinity, a power n? Can we do this is the question. Okay, so we can do this. Okay, so we can express this in this particular form. So let's try do that. So it's 1 by 2j is there outside. Fine. So this summation can further be written as this, n equal to 0 to infinity. Fine. Then it's a power j omega naught z to the power minus 1. Okay, and whole to the power n, so that we get this particular form. Fine. So where a is this, the whole thing is a, can be considered as a. What is a here? So a is less than 1. Okay, so this would also be less than 1. Understand that? So this would also be less than 1. Since there is z inverse. Okay, and this is n equal to 0 to infinity e power minus j omega naught z to the power minus not n 1. Okay, to the power n. Yes. Okay, so we know that summation n ranging from 0 to infinity a power n is 1 by 1 minus a if a is less than 1, and that's happening. This would be less than 1. Okay, let's not again go and check that. Fine. Therefore our x of z would be what? 1 by 2j, let's again be there outside. Okay, so now this would become 1 divided by 1 minus e power j omega naught z to the power minus 1 minus 1 by 1 minus e power minus j omega naught z to the power minus 1. So this is how the x of z looks like. So we shall write this in terms of z. It is in terms of z inverse. Okay, let's write this in terms of z. But before that, we have to write the region of convergence. Okay, so therefore x of z is finite when, so here there are two entities that we need to take care of. When 1 minus e power j omega naught z inverse. So when the magnitude of this is greater than 0. And one more thing is this. So this is one thing that we need to consider. This is the other thing that we need to consider. 1 minus e power minus j omega naught z inverse. Okay, so this should also be greater than 0 for x of z to be what? Finite. If this is greater than 0, this would be finite. If it is 0, okay, then it is infinite. So that will not form region of convergence. So why we are seeing this? To find region of convergence. Understand that? So to find ROC, what do? We do this statement. What statement is that? X of z is finite when, okay, so that statement is what we'll do when we are dealing with region of convergence. Is that okay with you? So we shall see the region of convergence now. So can you just go on do this, everybody? See how that needs to be dealt with. So this 1 minus e power j omega naught z inverse is greater than 0. This can be written as here. It's 1 greater than e power j omega naught z inverse. Fine. So first we shall do this part and then we shall approach this. Fine. So this is further can be written as e power j omega naught divided by z. Right. Now this is the magnitude. Fine. So which means that z should be greater than e power j omega naught magnitude. Understand? So magnitude of e power j omega naught would always be what? 1. Why? What is e power j omega naught? See here, everybody. E power j omega naught can be written as cos omega naught minus j sine omega naught. Yes. So what is the magnitude of this? Magnitude of this is square root of cos square omega naught plus sine square omega naught. So it's a square plus b square form. So this is 1. So magnitude of any complex exponential for that matter is always 1. Okay. Since magnitude of any complex exponential is 1. Okay. So here z is greater than 1. So from here we have seen that the z would be outside the circle with radius 1, the ROC. Fine. So similarly here what we can obtain is this 1 greater than e power minus j omega naught z inverse. So it's 1 greater than e power minus j omega naught divided by z, right? So it's z greater than e power minus j omega naught. Okay. So here also it's z greater than 1 only because this also is complex exponential and magnitude of complex exponential is 1 implies here also. So therefore z is equal to 1. Therefore we can say therefore region of convergence is z greater than 1. So that means it is outside the circle with radius 1. Okay, why it is outside the circle? Because this is a positive time sequence. So it is outside the circle. And this is infinite. Infinite length, positive time. Infinite length, positive time sequence. So it is region of convergence outside the circle. So which means that so for sinusoidal signal, we shall write that. We shall write that. So before that, let's obtain. See, in both the cases, it is z greater than 1. Okay, that's why we can say it is this. Fine. So now let's take this. Let's call this as equation number one. Let's reduce this to a form uh, wherein this will have z to deal with, not z inverse. Understand that? So let's see this. Therefore, x of z is, therefore, equation number one implies that x of z is equal to 1 by 2j. Okay. So there is z inverse here. So let's take this z inverse to the denominator and take the LCM. So if you take the LCM and work out this, okay, you will get that to be equal to this z by z minus e power j omega naught minus z by z minus e power minus j omega naught. So this is what you're going to get. Fine. Now further, if you see this, okay, so you can reduce this again in terms of sinusoidal. Understand? So how is that? So let's take the LCM now. Let this 1 by 2j be here. Let's take the LCM. So what is the LCM of this? It's z minus e power j omega naught, okay, into z minus e power minus j omega naught. So in the numerator, what do we have? It's z into z minus e power minus j omega naught minus z into z minus e power j omega naught. Understand this? So now, if you just solve this, it would be z square minus z into e power minus j omega naught minus z square plus z into e power j omega naught. So in the denominator, what do we need to have? Anybody? What can we have in the denominator? A minus b, and these two, if we multiply, what is that we're going to have is this z square minus 2z, what, minus 2z e power, what would this be? Z square is 1. Then let's do this. Let's do it this way. Just a minute. Fine. So how is that going to look like? Is this z square, then minus z into e power minus j omega naught, then minus z into e power j omega naught, okay, plus e power j omega naught into e power minus j omega naught. So this is how the things would come. So this and this goes off. Fine. Then this is what, 1. This whole stuff is 1. Fine. Now how can we deal with this is the question. So what can we do with this? This 2j is there, right? So see if we can deal with this 2j in the numerator and denominator and see what we get. Okay, is what we are interested in. Fine. So let's do that now. In the numerator, what we have? In the numerator, we can do this. Z you can keep out. Then you have e power j omega naught minus e power minus j omega naught, okay, divided by 2j. Okay, here it is z square minus z. Fine. Then it is e power minus j omega naught minus or plus. So is it plus or minus? If we take minus z, it is plus e power j omega naught. Okay. plus 1. So this is how it reduces to. Now, can you bring this in sinusoidal form? Can you bring this in sinusoidal form, everybody? Just see, how can we write this? So what is this equal to? Therefore, x of z would be equal to what? Z sine omega naught divided by z square minus, see here, if there is 2 in the denominator of this, what I mean is this, if there is 2, let me take a different color. In the denominator, if you have 2 here, okay, what would this be? It would be cos omega naught. Okay, since 2 is not there, so let's write that as this. Okay, 2 cos omega naught plus 1. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and the region of convergence is outside the circle with radius 1. Everybody understand that? So this is what is the Z transform of what? A sinusoidal function. Get this? Okay. So this is a long exercise that we have done. Since I was just explaining and doing this, it took some time, but you'll be doing it in not more than 5 minutes or so if you're given this in the exam. Okay, so practice this well. Okay, so such problems would always appear in the exam. Fine. So if it is this, what would be the Z transform of the second sinusoidal function? What would be the Z transform of x of n equal to what? Cos omega naught n u of n. What is the Z transform of this? Okay, so that we shall see. So you can also do that from your side and you can come. Fine.